What is up, DMV basketball fans? Welcome to another Bleav in DMV Hoops. I'm Matt Moderno. I've got Matt Rogers joining me today. Matt's a forward / center. I forget where we landed on this last time for American University. A starting big man, let's say that, for American. Matt, how's it going?
It's good. It's been great. Great talking to you again. It's been a little bit. I know you came to a couple games last season. I really appreciate that. So I'm excited to talk to you again.
Yeah, you guys were fun watch, and I am looking forward to this season too. I think there's some excitement building with the program there, and look forward to seeing where you guys go. Before we get to that, just a word from our sponsors, Stateside Vodka and their Surfside hard iced teas, hard lemonades, hard half and halves, hard peach teas, vodka sodas, all that delicious stuff, and BetOnline. BetOnline is your number one source for all your betting needs. Get the latest odds, lines, and matchup reports for baseball, boxing, golf, UFC, tennis, and more, all that good stuff. And BetOnline continues to be the fastest and easiest way to place all your wagers, including live betting and your favorite casino and card games. Head to the website today and use our promo code Bleav, BLEAV, for 50% off on your first deposit. BetOnline, where the game starts. All right, Matt. So like I said, starting big man for American, averaged 14 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, about a block, about a steal, did a little bit of everything for the team, shot 61% from the field, 41% from three. Last time we talked, I think you were talking about like working on your range a little bit and things like that. And this last season, you really showed that off. Is it fair to call you stretch big man, Matt Rogers, at this point?
If you go off last season and how many threes I actually shot, I wouldn't put myself quite yet, but I've for sure been in the lab this summer and this spring, and going into the fall so far. I've been in the lab. I'm trying to extend that range even more, get more comfortable with my shot, making it a little bit faster. For sure, you're going to see this year that I'm going to be shooting a little bit more threes, even more than I did last year. So
There you go.
I'm trying to call myself a stretch big for sure.
So that's something the coaching staff's empowered you to do and wants to see more of?
Yeah, they have a ton of confidence in my shot and in my game overall. So that's been great for me, just to get more comfortable shooting that shot.
It's one of those things where like aesthetically everything looks good too. So I think last year's numbers like really supported what kind of shooter you are, maybe more than the year before. So looking forward to seeing that too. Mentioned the new coaching staff there a little bit, so we'll get to that in a second. But just on the jump shot thing, when you say things like in the lab, I guess for listeners, what does that look like, right? Is that a form change at all and tweaking things? Is it watching film and seeing the way you shoot? Is it just repping it out? Like, talk us through kind of what that process is like.
For me, I did a form change my freshman year coming into college. I tweaked it a little bit, so I wasn't as comfortable going into my sophomore year and stuff like that. It's more about right now. It's more about the form and like keeping it, like getting a bunch of reps, just getting on like a gun, then getting a bunch of moving shots as well, just so you can get comfortable and get more confidence in that shot. That's what I've been doing a bunch of summer, just getting a lot of repetition, just doing that for sure.
I think that's always a smart move. Find a form that works for you and just like get comfortable with it. I think a lot of guys you see like they keep tweaking stuff for forever because they don't get immediate results, and nobody's going to be comfortable with something, the first couple of times they shoot it. So I think that sounds like a good plan.
Yeah, jump shot is really mental. A lot of it is mental for the jump shot. A lot of people overthink their jump shot, and I tended to do that a little bit when I changed it. And then now that I'm getting more comfortable, I'm not thinking about the form as much. I'm more just like, yeah, I can do this. I just got to keep doing the same thing over and over again, and I know it's going to succeed.
Does it help when your teammates and coaches and things like that have confidence in you to shoot those shots too? Like you don't have to think about it as much because nobody's going to give you a hard time because they know you can make it.
Yeah. Coach Simp is a huge guy on like confidence boosting and stuff like that. He's came in and he's really preached that, just like appreciating your guys and like giving them a bunch of like, even if it's a lot of good shots, you just got to keep hyping your guys up, and it'll boost their confidence, and they'll just keep shooting those shots, and eventually they're going to fall.
That's awesome. We talked about Coach Simpkins there. So Dwayne Simpkins, for anybody not familiar with local basketball, was a great player at the University of Maryland, my alma mater, and has been working his way up through the coaching ranks. So finally getting a shot at the big chair here at American. He's been, an assistant coach a lot of places and helping build other programs. And now he kind of gets to run his own ship here. For you, Matt, you've played for the same coach your first 3 years. What's that like to transition to a new coach this far in your college career? Is it hard to adjust to a new coaching style, or has that been a process? So just talk us through that a little bit.
Yeah, it's been a process, but I was fortunate enough to be actually in the coaching recruitment process a little bit. I was really involved in that. I wanted to be involved. I was fortunate for our ADs to allow me to, be in that, as for sure. But then it's also been, it's been a little change because they had two different styles of play. They've had like my coach last year, Mike Brennan, he was a little bit slower. Did the Princeton,
Sure.
which was great for me. I got to touch the ball a lot, and then I got to move the ball a lot as well. But this year we're pushing the pace a lot more up tempo stuff. The practices have been a little bit different. A lot more like next to the next thing. We move here, we move there. Just trying to get a lot more in shape as well. That's been the biggest difference. So we're going to be running a lot, and he preaches, just playing as hard as you can for that 2 to 3, even 4 minutes if you can, and he'll get you a sub and he'll get you right back in. So, yeah, it's been an adjustment, but we're all getting used to it, and it's going to be an exciting year for sure.
You mentioned playing in the Princeton offense before, and I mentioned those 2 assists, but realistically, you created a lot more offense for people like that, kind of a hub and high post and things. But you're also like a mobile, athletic dude, so I got to imagine playing fast suits you well too, and you can beat guys down the floor. So, do you think that'll lead to like more easy baskets for you and being able to kind of put pressure on opposing bigs and defenses?
Yeah, we saw a little bit of that when we were actually in our trip over in Italy. We were getting out and running, and we were making the teams tired just because we're running so much, and then we're getting out in transition so much. And I could see that if I can get myself in that tip top shape that I know I can get in, I'll be able to really take advantage of this system and like get a lot of easier buckets, and also just be able to show off my game a little bit more and be more comfortable with my game as well.
Mentioned the stylistic change offensively here. Any other shifts that Coach Simpkins is working on, or things that you've seen from him that are kind of differences for you and the rest of the team that you're trying to adjust to, or anything like that?
It's more of me. For me, it's more of like moving out to the wing a little bit more. I'm playing like a more of like a stretch 5-4 ish kind
Mhm.
of like in, because the 4 and 5 they can do the same thing in our system. So like
Gotcha.
either one can play either way. So it's just getting more comfortable out in the wing. And then a lot of the other stuff is just talking and then starting to get more comfortable, like just being a lot more active, like voice wise. So
Mhm.
other than that, that's the biggest adjustment so far.
So they have you at the back of the defense calling things out for other guys and kind of quarterbacking stuff. Is
Mm.
that the
Yeah,
plan?
for sure. That's what I was doing a little bit last year, but now he's really preaching that, so I have to be even extra loud. The big man has to do that a lot because we see everything. We're down on the
Right.
block, so we see everything that's going on in front of us. So last year I was a little too quiet for college basketball standards, but I'm working on that right now for sure.
Is that I guess what something like I'm not really sure what the crowds were like in Italy, I guess. So is that a different environment than a packed college basketball game? Like, is it going to be harder to yell over loud crowds and things like that?
Yeah, Italy wasn't as packed as we thought it would be, but it was still a fun environment. There was still a bunch of locals and like little kids that came out and watched us that were
Mhm.
excited to see us play. But yeah, it's going to be different in the college environment, and especially this year with our schedule. We have a couple bigger games that we got to play in, so it's going to be even bigger challenge. But I'm ready to step up for it, and I know the whole team is as well. So
The Patriot League in general has like a lot of schools, I think, that are kind of basketball crazed, and maybe people aren't as familiar with them and the environments that they bring. But somebody like Colgate that's been a
mhm.
power and made the tournament and competitive in the tournament, that's probably a pretty loud place to play. I'm not sure if you guys play them home or away or both this year, but I would imagine that's a game circled on the calendar for everybody in the league
No, yeah, we play since we're like a smaller conference. We play everybody.
twice.
So, Colgate is definitely one of the harder environments to play. They pack that gym out every time I've been there. And it's a smaller gym, so it echoes a lot as
Right.
well. So, yeah, you got to be extra loud, especially when they're going on runs and you're trying to stop them. But for sure, every league, I mean, every team that we play in the league is they usually pack out their house when we come to play, and it's fun league to play in.
Coach Simpkins played for Gary Williams. Anybody familiar with local basketball knows Gary, kind of an intense guy on the court. What's Coach Simpkins' vibe like? What's the style? Is he an intense guy? Is he laid back? Like, what's he like for folks?
No, yeah, he brings a mixture of it. He doesn't want to be in some situations. He's gonna get on your ass and he's gonna yell at you and stuff like that. But then like off the court, he's a really cool guy, really family oriented guy, which I was like in the process of maybe going to the transfer portal, staying. I was for sure like, yeah, I want a coach that's gonna be off the court as well, not just on the court. And he's preached that, he's shown that to me, and I've been really grateful for what he's done so far. But yeah, to get back to the basketball, yeah, he's a pretty aggressive guy when he needs to be, but then on the court, he's gonna yell at you, but he's also gonna pat you on the back and say, "Yeah, man, we got this. I love you." Stuff like that. It's been great so far for every guy.
That's awesome. Yeah, I think you need that mix, right? In today's environment, you have to be able to to push a guy, but also put an arm around him and stuff like that too. So you as the senior leader, do you have to kind of explain that to younger teammates too? Like, hey, this is good for you, and kind of help
Yeah.
them through that transition too.
Yeah, well, since the we had a couple incoming freshmen, they had never experienced what we experienced before. So
Sure.
it's even more of just like teaching the guys that have been here before,
Mhm.
and even myself a little bit, just like getting used to a different type of coaching style,
Yeah.
and different type of coach in general, like overall. But yeah, it's been a learning experience, and we've all starting to get used to it, and it's going to be great.
We mentioned the Italy tour here a little bit. So for anybody that's not super familiar, college basketball teams once every 4 years can go on a foreign tour, and a lot of times it's on the coaches or the administration to figure out where they have connections or to align those kinds of trips up. And I don't know, it seems like one of the better ones you could end up with. You guys went to Italy this summer, so I guess just most importantly, how was the trip overall?
No, the trip was great. We were fortunate to also have one of my teammates is from Italy. He's from Rome,
Mhm.
so that was great to have. We went on a bunch of different tours. Went to a bunch of different cities. Went to 3 different cities. Yeah, it was a great experience. I think for everybody, a lot of guys haven't been out the country, so it was their first time out the country, and they really enjoyed it. And we all had it was really good bonding experience, especially with the new coaching staff to get to know them, their families. Yeah, it was a fun experience.
I kind of didn't think about that part, to be honest. Like, it's not just like you have new teammates and getting time with them and a new head coach, but your whole staff is new
Mhm.
there, and you spend a lot of time with assistant coaches on a college basketball team, and sometimes those are the guys you have more direct or personal relationships with. So I'm glad you said that because that hadn't really occurred to me that just getting time, FaceTime with those guys is important too.
Yeah, like we, especially they brought like all the coaching staff brought at least like their family or their girlfriend
Mhm.
or something like that. So it's just Americans really starting to turn into like a family, like oriented. Everybody has each other's back. We all
That's
support each
great.
other. So that was fun.
Yeah, that's cool. So you're there for like 10, 12 days, something like that, or
Nine, a little on. It was 9 days. I'm pretty sure.
9? Okay.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
3 or 4 games total while there?
Yeah, we had 3 games. Three
Okay.
games. Yep.
So it's obviously some downtime there to see stuff, but I always hear coaches talk about how on some of these foreign trips that the practice time they think is almost more valuable than the games are a lot of times because it's time in the summer where they get to work with you guys on stuff that they
Mhm.
wouldn't get to otherwise. I guess what's a practice like on a foreign tour?
We actually weren't able to practice.
Oh,
We weren't
interesting.
able to find because we weren't able to find a gym.
Hmm.
Because Italy, there's not crazy amount of gyms.
Sure.
So we weren't we the first couple days we went into, we had nothing. We were just hanging out, bonding
Hmm.
as a team, doing all
Okay.
these activities, and then that first game we got there, we warmed up, had like a 45-minute warm up, and we just got right into it.
Nice.
Um, but it was a little rough at the beginning. We were turning the ball over, got a little sloppy, but then once we got into the roll of it, we came out and it got to what we wanted it to be.
Had you guys been able to play at all together in the summer prior to that, or at least play pickup and things like that to get a feel for some of the newer guys? Or was like this time on the court like really your first time like trying to work through some of this stuff together?
No, this wasn't our first time because we have like that July month where
Hmm.
teams are allowed to come back, and most of the guys were here except for the guy that's from Italy. He's actually on the 3v3 team for the
Oh, that's
World
cool.
Cup. So he's about to go back tomorrow or today, I think. Actually, he's playing in that, so that's pretty cool. But other than that, everybody was here in the summer. We all wanted to be here. We wanted to get used to the new coaching staff, the new practice style, and all that stuff. So yeah, we've been practicing for a little bit. We've been playing pickup, once or twice a week as well, just to get the flow with everybody and try to run some stuff in pickup as well. But yeah, we've been grinding all summer.
That's great. I'm always a little hazy on how much you guys can or can't play together and how much the coaches can or can't be involved in the summer. Like I don't know. I feel like the rules shift and the amount of practice time changes every couple of years. So
No, yeah, the NCAA has like a set rule, set hour rule limit and
mhm,
stuff like that. So during the summers, it's like 8 hours a week for
okay.
like total workout hours, and then next week we get into our actual official preseason, so it goes up to 20 hours. So then
Right.
that's when we start real practice and stuff like that. So.
Gotcha. Is that the expectation that guys will be ready and in shape by then, or do you get to still kind of work your way into the season a little bit?
No, yeah, we still have to work our way into the season. We're not anywhere close to where we need to be in shape wise or offensive wise, anything in wise at all. We're still a little bit rusty. We're still trying to learn and grow as a group for sure. But it's going to be fun. And we're gonna get through it, of course, and we're going to be prepared for that first game against Villanova for sure.
That's awesome. So just sticking with the Italy trip here a little bit, you mentioned it being a bonding experience for you and your teammates. Do you think that will help you kind of integrate these new guys to the team quicker than they would have otherwise because you got so much like direct time together? I don't know how much in the summer, even if guys are back, are you all hanging out and things like that? I feel like this is kind of forced time together and in a room. Does that speed things up, I guess?
Well, I wouldn't say speed things up, but it does definitely ease the process of like, getting to know them, like showing them the college lifestyle a little bit. And
Mhm.
like the off court experience, people don't people like underrate how important that is for a college basketball team because you're with these guys every single day. You're in these you're going through the same grind, going to classes and then going to practice and then you're getting back home at like 8 or 9 and you got to do your homework and you got to do all that stuff. So it's just like hanging out with these guys, telling them our stories, like what they're going to go through, the experiences they're going to go through is definitely, something that we appreciated a lot. And yeah, for sure, it's going to help them like grow even faster and like get to where we want them to be because we're trying to contend. We are a contending team. We had a lot of returners. We had a lot of guys stay after the transfer portal stuff. So we really have a strong team here and we want to win. So that experience definitely helped like ramp them up a little bit to, get used to what we want to do.
I don't want to speak for you, but having seen you guys play a half dozen times last year, I thought you guys were maybe better than the final record there, and you played a lot of the really good teams in your conference well, and beat some of those teams too. So when I looked and saw, hey, this roster is pretty close to last year's group. You
Mhm.
get everybody another year older. You had some impact freshmen and things like that last year. So uh, new coaching staff. Like this is an exciting time for American basketball, and I think that's not coach speak on your part to say like you want to contend. Like I think you guys are got to be one of the teams that everyone else in the league is looking around at and saying, "Oh, okay, like we're gonna have to be ready for these guys."
Mhm. Yeah, you're not wrong. We have a core group that came in that 2020 class that we've all been, fighting. We've been fighting hunger. We've been eating trying to get to this Patriot League championship. Last year we were so close to getting to the championship game.
Mm.
That double overtime loss really hurt us a lot, and guys took it to heart. And we're excited to get back, and we're hungry for sure.
What was the competition like in Italy? Sometimes you see some of these schools play teams and the games are really close and competitive, and other times it's 130 to 17 or to 70. I mean, like some of the games are totally lopsided. So it's hard to get a feel for, how the guys you played against are. They are professionals? Are they under 21 clubs? Like walk us through the competition, I guess.
No, yeah, I think the competition that we played was under 21, but they were still like very solid, like very oriented, like had a lot of skill to their game. You could tell they're a little bit younger, but like they're gonna go somewhere and play somewhere for sure.
Mhm.
The second and third games were definitely like true competitions. The first game was a little bit not to what we wanted to play that, but the second and third for sure, they were good.
Probably good to have an easier first one to kind of shake the rust off a little bit
Yeah.
and work through some stuff in real time, I would think too.
Mhm.
Was the style of play hard to adjust to, like the way an Italian team is playing versus the way a Patriot League team would play? Is that something tough for you guys to get used to?
Yeah, because the second and third game, we had the same refs, like, for both games, so, like,
Okay,
we are still trying to get used to, like, the FIBA rules, and, like,
sure.
there's some moves that you can't do in
Mhm.
FIBA, like, that they will call travel, and they'll
You
call,
got to
like,
put the
this.
ball down first every
You gotta put the
time.
ball down first, and, like,
Mhm.
we had, like there was, like, a stretch where we had, like, 4 or 5 possessions where we just got called for travels, and we were just
Sure.
like, "That's just not a travel." I don't
Right.
like, we can't change our game, like, that fast, so but other than that, like the style of play wasn't not too hard
Mhm.
to get adjusted to, but it was different like in those aspects. And then being able to goaltend and like a little bit stuff like that, touching the ball on the rim was not a lot of that, but it was fun to play in for sure.
Did you get to clean any off the rim? Get any of those?
No, I didn't get to, but I didn't even think, I'm not even thinking about that because in the
Sure.
game I'm thinking I'm playing, against Patriot League or playing college basketball, but no, it was fun.
Uh, yeah, that's just got to be a different experience. Any Italian trash talk or what seemed like trash talk, maybe?
No, a little of them, they knew a little bit of English, but not a lot. I would say some stuff in there. They would just stare at me and they wouldn't really know what I was saying. And they would say some stuff and I wouldn't know what they're saying. But we had some respect for each other because we were both, grinding out there.
Sure, that's cool. Uh, kind of mentioned this the last time we talked a little bit too. You had some bigger teams on your schedule last year. Obviously, the Georgetown game was a huge one for you guys locally, and to get some attention and things like that. And that was a great, signature result for the year. Any other big names on the schedule coming up here this year that you're looking forward to, especially, or you think fans should be marking on their calendars too?
Yeah, we're at Villanova the first game of the year,
Okay.
so that's going to be exciting. A bigger test as well, and then I think we play Georgetown again. If I'm for sure, I don't have the schedule studied, but then we also have Virginia Tech. We have St. Joe's up in the PA as well. So we have some big names and some bigger competition that we didn't have as much as last year. So we're excited to play these bigger teams. We always want to play tougher competition, as you say, but to see where we're at, and it's going to be fun. I think people should show up to those games for sure.
Yeah, and that's not to knock Patriot League competition at all. Like we mentioned, there's a lot of really good teams in your division, but some of those are maybe bigger names that more casual college basketball fans are familiar with. Everybody knows of Villanova after a couple national
Yeah.
championships and stuff like that. So that's a cool way to open the season. Have you guys talked about that matchup at all yet, or is that still a month or so away?
Not quite yet. We haven't got to that. We're still working on ourselves, trying to get ourselves right. So haven't got to that quite yet, but I know we will. We will soon for sure.
So you mentioned you get to ramp up here with closer to real practice here soon, or more regular cadence. I guess and anything that you're looking forward to specifically about like practicing with these guys more or working with the coaching staff more, anything like you personally that you want to work on with your game for some of these guys or with some of these guys?
Yeah, it's just I'm excited just to get back in like the swing of things. It's really starting to feel like basketball season again. That's just that's my favorite time of the year for sure. I love doing what I do. I'm grateful for that I get to play at the collegiate level. So I'm excited just to get back in the gym on a full schedule. Show these young guys what it's really like to go through a hard week and then go to class and do stuff like that. The stuff that I've been working on my game is just try to get in tip top shape. I know that I'm going to need to be out there as much as I can be to have this where we want to go and stuff like that. So other than that it's just getting comfortable with my shot and then being able to handle the ball a little bit more on the wing. So that's what I'm working on as for myself. And then as a team, we're just working on, as well, just getting the shape and then learning our offense a little bit more, being able to play. We have a more free flowing offense. We're not like, Princeton where we're just like, following this, following that. It's more of like reading the defense and stuff like that. So just getting used to doing that. And that's about it.
It'll be exciting to play a little bit different and try some other things, I would think,
Yeah.
and get to like make some of those decisions on your own a little bit more, and not just kind of follow the when this guy goes here, you pass here kind of format.
Right.
Speaking of potentially some free flowing offensive players, since we last talked, the Wizards have made some changes and brought Jordan Poole over from the Warriors. That's a pretty free flowing guy, I would say. What did you think about the Wizards summer? What do you think about any of the moves? Anyone on the roster you're particularly looking forward to?
No, I'm just glad that we finally picked a direction, and just said, you know what, we're going into rebuilding mode, and we're just gonna stay there. I'm tired of the mediocrity that we were in for so many years, just getting that that 10, 11, that 11, 9, 8 spot where
Fight for the play in every
you're gonna
season.
fight for a penny. You're not gonna get a bona fide superstar that you need to win in this league. But yeah, I'm excited to see like the Jordan Pools and like even like Tyus Jones, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm excited to see him. I feel like that's a great backcourt to have, just like to start off this rebuild. Two little bit younger guys that just wanted to play. So, I'm excited to see what Jordan Poole does for sure. Just being able to do himself, see what he can do. I'm also just trying to see how Denny's going to grow this year. I'm a big Denny supporter. I've liked Denny the whole time he's been here. I just feel like he just needs to feel that weight come off his shoulders, just be released, just play how he wants to play and see what he does. Sure.
Just what we were talking about with you guys, with being able to be a little more free flowing on offense. I think that might suit somebody like Denny to just be able to play make and not have to think, and do I have to pass the ball to Brad here? Do I have to give it to KP? To just let him do his thing and play through some mistakes a little bit more. So hopefully this is an opportunity for him to kind of stretch those wings a little bit.
Yeah. And then I'm also so excited to see Q's and what he does as well. I feel like he's going to really turn into that, that one or two that he really can be for sure.
Danilo Gallinari on the team here, also an Italian. So, maybe the guys you just played against looked up to him a little bit growing up. Is there anybody on this team or on any NBA teams or any other college teams that you specifically kind of watch and try to model any of your game after?
Um, when I was younger, I would always watch like KD and stuff like that, just because he's from the local area. KD was just such a great prospect and somebody that can move. He's 6'10", he's 6'10" like me, 6'9". He's just moving crazy out there. He can do anything he wants, get any shot he wants. That's the guy I've always watched and loved watching. Other than that, that's who I would say for sure. Because KD has just been, he's one of the greatest scorers of all time. So I can't argue with that.
Yeah, if you could take anything from watching his game, I think that's a good dude to be able to learn any single aspect of the sport from.
Right.
We mentioned before we recorded here a little bit, you're also an O's fan. So the O's are on the way back up. You're a Commanders fan. Commanders seem on the way back up. Local sports are killing it right now, man. Especially the teams you root for. That's got to feel pretty good.
I'm not gonna jump on the Commanders too fast right now. It's only been 2 weeks, but I'm excited. Local sports. It's been a long time, man. I'm hoping the Wizards can turn around here soon so I can have the trifecta of just happiness.
There you go.
You never know. But the O's, we've been in the rebuilding process for a couple of years, so we definitely deserve this one.
Yeah, definitely. It's been a long time coming for sure. So maybe the Wizards can follow suit and take some notes from some of these other local teams.
Hopefully, it doesn't take as long as for the Wizards, though.
Yeah, that would be nice. I don't think I can last into my 40s waiting for a Wizards team to be decent again, but we'll see. Matt, anything else you want to plug that you have going on or anything like that you want to leave fans or listeners with?
Not right now. I just hope everyone can come catch a game at Bender Arena. It's going to be an exciting year for us. Different offense, new coaching staff, excited group. So just come catch a game when you can. I really appreciate it.
I wholeheartely endorse that. I wouldn't steer you guys wrong. They're going to be fun to watch, and it's a cool environment, and the arena's easy to get to and park and all that stuff. So it's like there's really no excuse not to go if you're in the DC area. I think that's you guys have made it super easy for people to come out and support. And there's always food and people are giving away pizzas and stuff like that. So if you're a student listening to this, especially, there's a pretty easy path for you guys to see some good basketball. Matt, thank you. Good luck this season. I definitely plan to be there and check you guys out. And I'm looking forward to a big year from the team and you specifically.
I appreciate it. It's great talking to you again.
All right, everybody. That was Bleav in DMV Hoops. We're brought to you by betonline.ag. Please rate, review, subscribe, all that stuff. If you're watching this on YouTube, click the little like button, subscribe button, all that good stuff. And we will check y'all next time.